Okay, let's continue. We're going to learn an incredible some Zalman today. Hopefully, at the end of today, we're going to start with. We're in Parak Gimel. We're in Sif Lamed Gimel. Asaras Klipa. We're going to be removing the shells. You're supposed to cough when he opened it. Mutter Likleif is like Klipa Shel Beiros. Says Zalman says Rav Neubert, you let her remove the Klipa, the shell off of fruit, yirakot, vegetables, beitzim, eggs, uchdeim, ba'ivin, avur lalon. V'zois b'shom, why is this? She avshar la'agia lo'ichel. It's impossible to get to the food. Ba'ivin acher, another way, v'derech achilasa b'kach, and it is the mannerism of eating. Now, if I were to tell you that it's avshar to eat the food otherwise, you would call me a liar. Why is it not impossible? Just take the orange and cut in half, take the banana, cut in half, take the egg, cut in half. I'm not saying it's normal. Efsher or Efsher. So that's going to be. We're going to end today with a Shlomo Zalman who's going to call this a question. Well,
why is it called a mixture?
What do you mean, sir?
Why is the klipa of a fruit or vegetable or whatever it is? I see two different things. Why is it different than a carrot on top of the fish?
How's two different things? You don't even see the inside one.
That's just because it had to be blocked.
Okay, good. You might.
Door, you
good. You might. Let's get to Shlomo Zalman. You might be mechavin to the reason why it might be mutter.
Why can't it be added for if I don't like skin on chicken?
Oh well, let's hold on 1 second. Klipos dalid shells. Wow, he just called you out. I was nice. Klipos lechila. Rough day in the office, bro.
You see how appealing you are.
Klipos lechila roivnei adam eichlon aisam, and most people eat it that way. Roiv b'nei adam eichlon aisam. Kigoyin hakli b'shal agvania tomato. Oy shal tapuach 8 welcome shov b'nei adam eichlon aisam. Afar sak va'agas, all different fruits and veggies. Mimini aper shov b'nei adam eichlon mim klipasin. Ha'ar shell dog, the skin of a fish. V'chein ha'ar shell oif, the skin of a chicken. Kol eilem muter lasiram b'Shabbat. You're allowed to remove it on Shabbos. Now, he says roiv, first of all. He says roiv. Is it roiv? Is always going to be a shayla, which is a shayla. Okay, but again, if it's roiv, you let it remove it. Now he says a chiddush. Once it's roiv, now be careful. Are all vegetables roiv that people eat with it on? Good. Give me an example, sir. An orange. Very good. An orange. An orange, people do not. An orange, people do not eat the shell, the peel in English. We'll see that in a moment. What's a maklif? A peeler. Says Shlomo Zalman, the $1 million question: are you allowed to use a peeler on Shabbos? Says Shlomo Zalman, if it's a peel that's normally eaten, then yes. Not only can you use a peeler, you can even peel it for later. So clearly, Shlomo Zalman is learning that edible peels are mufga, are excluded from the rules of Bayrer. So much so, number one, he's allowing you to use a kli yuchad. So much so, number two, is you can peel it for later. Yesh machmirin. I know what's that? Yeah, it says. Don't worry, it says yesh. Yesh machmirin va'imrim shegam im aklip aruya lachil ravin adach say gam oz yesh dirak sabut l'sudat ar machmirim v'lo yesh tam zer chaklip l'miyuchad k'vor lalon sif laminate. So let's just get the gamut of what's going on over here. Was? And you should not use a kiluf. You should not use a peeler. He's saying the army. Let's first. He started off if right people eat it, you can do for lachar zman, and you can use a peeler. Yesh machmirim that even roiv eat it. That what you should not peel it for later, and you should not use a peeler. We turn over to Lamed Hey and says Lamed Hey. What's the flip side? Your heliga tapuz, your orange. Motor lahasira rak biyad oy bekli she'enoi miyuchad lekach. Ubetinai she'asa zois rak sabul chuskas. You have to do it for immediate usage. Ayin lehel halan sif samachas lefikach. Motor likleif samuch lisuda beitzim. We were looking for example of shells you don't eat. We went for orange. We could have just went for an egg. It's a little bit easier. Egg. You don't need eggshells. Beitzim, bitzalim, onions, tapuche adama, mivushalim. Be careful. Why mivushalim? Why cooked potatoes? Muksa, and cause people do not eat raw potatoes.
Actually.
Bananot v'chein naknek. Afilu bisakin. People,
You don't want.
slow. Raw. People do. Slow. He's in a category right now of things that Roiv do not eat, right? Katzman is asking why in this category is he putting Tapuch Adama V'Shalim together with Bitzalim. He's saying that he eats the peel of a potato.
It doesn't make it normal.
So now you could all argue about this, but let's move on. Over lunch, we'll debate. Achloi b'kliyam yuchlekach, not with a kli miyuch. Kigon maklev, motlas a kli b'shavai goiz adama, voltanim. Roland says, "Umotil asim sach l'suda estaot amafa." Is a chiddush. You're allowed to remove near or close to your eating the labels. Anyone remember the challah with the label on it? Any Haimish challah people here? The label on the challah? Yeah, no. Okay, go. We have a few Haimishes. Baruch Hashem. All the modern shechaver don't know what that is. Al kikar lachem. Moshe, you know what it is. You have no clue.
Or you've eaten a lot of colleagues.
You had angels in there.
Yeah, okay. I was that. He just saying, yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Al kikar lachem. Oya challah. V'yizoher. Lahaser imam ma'at min ma'afa. Remove a little bit of the danish, a little bit of the chalik. Kadesh lo yilifko in bosiyos atfos shaba, so you don't mess up the letters. Yishlam Zalman just answered the $1 million Bacher Shaila who says, no, I could get rid of the label without ripping it. He says, be careful, just take some chal off because you can end up ripping it and it's going to mess up. It still is a shalom. Ra sif chaf gimel. Now, where are we holding on to? Okay, so that is, you want to ask a question now?
I'll wait till you finish.
Okay, so now we have, let's just get the gamut. Shlomo Zalman just opened up an incredible sugya. We have a sugya of peels. Why peels are also for the simple reason is you're taking bad from good. You're removing the orange peel, removing the eggshell. In such a sugya, Shlomo Zalman just made a chasm down the middle, and he said there's a chilik between edible and inedible peels. That is how Shlomo Zalman learned it. Now, they're all mutter. They're all mutter. You can't focus, Pashit. They're all mutter. But if it's edible, he gives you more liberties. Just understand what he just said. Even when it's inedible, you're still allowed to peel it, which, why are you still allowed to peel it? We still have to answer your question, right? An egg, why are you allowed to peel an egg? Even samach l'suda. We're sort of getting caught in side details. Are you allowed to do it from yad? Are you allowed to use the peeler? But lemaisa, you're taking bad for good. So what is it? So let's just start by answering that. Again, the dinim, that's the halacha. Good. Before the havana, the halacha is, the Rav Neuber Paskins, which one could certainly be seimech on, is, are you allowed to use a peeler on Shabbos? Let's take the poll. What does everyone do? Yes? What does everyone do before learning Shlomo Zalman? Use peelers in your house? Your parents use peelers? They don't. Next. Good. Anyone else? No. Some reason there's this widespread minhag that no one use peelers. Ramesha, the English book, brings down. The Rav Reuven says, B'Shem his father. It's no tshuva from it. B'Shem his father, they allowed his peeler. All fascinating stories. How they say that they brought something to Ramesha, and I think he peeled it with a knife quicker than the peeler. And he said, you see that the peeler is not doing anything. Everyone has Yana Bobby that says I can peel better with a knife than you can do with a peeler. That's just, we don't know how to use peelers, but maybe if it was for your wife, then maybe not. Hatzal has been called. So, peelers, according to Rav Neubert, are allowed to use on edible peels, which are $1 million savior. That's called apples. And it's probably called cucumbers. Pickled cucumbers. Now you're gonna say, who eats the peels and cucumbers?
Sure.
So number one, very good. Number two is when you go to the simchot, they make them fancy. They peel off half. They make lines. So it's bottle. It's not there. Matthias.
And I tried
Pickles.
to.
Pickles always have to peel.
It's bottle.
Wait, but
Peel pickles.
oh, they always have to peel.
Oh, yeah, I got nervous peeling pickles. Guys got odd. Yes.
Even if people eat the peels, so it doesn't help why you were allowed to do.
So again, question number one is why you let him move anything bad. We did not answer that question.
And even when it's good, why?
Question number two is he's being makel a unique kula that he splits whether it's an edible versus an inedible peel. An edible peel, he wants to say, not only you let a peel, you can even do it for later and you can even do it with a peeler. An inedible peel, he says that's has to be done for la'alter, that's has to be done with a peeler, which by the way, or not with a peeler. If you look at the sugya, it's going to be hard to find what he's saying. This isn't like Mishnah Bruadik. This is Rishon Zalmadik. We're going to end with Haaras Adiyeh as we're unfortunately running out of time. But Haaras Adiyeh, he says as follows. Iglei Tal Melechas Baris and Vav Shemiras Shabbos, Melechas Baris, Shemiras Shabbos, V'Shamati. Second line. Shamati Me'agon Shem Zamen Arach Lazel. Te'etzem Hadin Shal Kilof Asaruch Iyun. Sharei. Hupsailes B'Tarich Eichel. Your kasha. V'Asra Afilu Alter. Uma. He's not going to argue the Shulchan Aruch. That which Shmiras said you're allowed to head through him. She'i efshar b'inyan achar v'derech achilasei b'kach sarch in ksas dehaloi haya efshar lachlecha beitza haya banana uloi tzitach v'techach liba. What do you mean it's efshar? It's not true. Just cut it in half and eat it. If you're going to tell me it's not the derech, efshar meaning derech, aside from Ramos's plato, he says efshar levashul, and he said, nay, that doesn't mean the derech. Berlacha said efshar. So if you're going to suggest that, harigamim naflab salus. What do you mean? When the fly falls into your soup, what do you do? What's ragil? What's the derech? To plug out the fly, and yet, so don't be so quick to pull out your spars and pretend like it makes sense. Says Rishon Zalman v'ulai, perhaps yesh leimer. The key now, this line over here. Look at this line. It might be I'm chayshid. He's saying a little bit what you're saying. Yesh leimer. The kivon shaklipa bechases kol ha'oichel mikol stadav. Since the peel fully enwraps, engulfs, subsumes, covers the food from all sides. To get to the food, you would have to cut it. Because of Miman Shach, you got to get past the barrier. Miman Shach, you're going to have to do something. So then we'll allow you to peel Mashain Kain by the pselos of your food. Zerak Mikra. Eldim Kain, 1 second, if this is true, that if I have spoiled fruit that we learned earlier, you let it cut it off, or we have a label that we learned that to take off, what do you mean? Those cases it is sure. Just eat the good and leave over the bad. He says, I don't know if it's archin, v'chein by an orange. Many people don't peel your orange. Many people slice it into 4s and eat it. So you're going to tell me you're allowed to peel it? Lamaisa, it is a ara, it's a makom liskadol by, that is halacha.